Eastern Gujarat's Mahisagar and Panchmahal districts are defined by a state of extreme climatic tension. For 9 months of the year, the landscape is a scorched, arid expanse, only to be suddenly inundated by violent monsoons that drop an entire year's worth of rain in a matter of weeks. Before the 1970s, local communities survived on whatever they could pull from the ground. They relied on shallow stone-lined wells and wooden water wheels. But during dry years, these limited methods couldn't reach the receding water table, frequently resulting in widespread famine. This creates a core hydrological tension. When nearly all of a region's water arrives in a brief 3-month window and rapidly drains away, it leaves the land effectively paralyzed for the rest of the year. Surviving this seasonal polarity required a physical intervention massive enough to catch the monsoon floods before they vanished into the riverbeds. This map isolates the topography of the Panam Basin. In 1971, planners targeted the Panam River, a Mahi tributary, for a strategic basin-wide intervention. From a 2,312 square kilometer catchment area, the terrain forces monsoon runoff to converge at a single geological choke point. At this site, engineers constructed a masonry gravity dam, a structure that resists the outward pressure of the water through its own massive weight. Standing 56 meters high, it was built to hold back 737 million cubic meters of water. Completing this massive project took 28 years. Crews had to excavate hard rock and navigate complex topography to build both the main wall and a sprawling network of distribution canals. Today, this masonry wall is the linchpin of the region's survival, transforming erratic seasonal floods into a reliable year-round reservoir. During the peak of the monsoon, the dam functions as a defensive barrier. It has to absorb and manage the kinetic energy of millions of tons of water rushing down from the highlands. To prevent the structure from overtopping, engineers use 10 massive radial spillway gates. When lifted, these gates can release over 10,000 cubic meters of water per second into the riverbed below. These releases carry immediate risks. In July 2025, heavy upstream rainfall forced an emergency discharge of nearly 10,000 cusecs, triggering high alerts for 38 downstream villages in the Panchmahal and Mahisagar districts. Flood control is a high-stakes calculation. It is a constant balancing act between storing enough water for the dry season and opening the gates to prevent a catastrophic overflow. Once the water is caught, it is put to use. A mini hydropower plant situated on the canal utilizes the flow to generate 2 megawatts of clean electricity for the surrounding rural communities. After passing through the turbines, the water enters the Panam Left Canal. This engineered channel carries the supply for nearly 100 kilometers across the district, but the water has to go higher. A new 406 crore rupee lift irrigation scheme uses massive pumps to lift water 236 feet upward, filling 130 lakes across 79 tribal villages that sit above the main canal's reach. Distributing this water requires a complex scheduling algorithm. Local water user associations must balance dependability, making sure water is there when crops need it, with equity, ensuring that farms at the end of the line receive their fair share. This sprawling mechanical circulatory system overcomes the natural limits of the terrain, forcing water into the highest and driest tribal lands in the region. This guaranteed water supply has transitioned the region from single-season survival farming to a reliable year-round system of multicropping. Over 36,000 hectares are now under irrigation. This has pushed the region's cropping intensity to 130. With less room for storage, there is a much smaller margin for error during flood control operations in the monsoon season. The Panam Dam functions as a permanent covenant between human engineering and the local environment. It requires constant maintenance and vigilance to ensure Eastern Gujarat retains its hard-won prosperity.